Hello children, what is this? You can see you like this very much. Okay, you are playing very nicely. Huh? In the school you played well. Now you are playing at your house. Without this, most of you can't. You need at least one small size you need, isn't it? Okay, so now our poem is also regarding this only. Now we shall have the poem. Okay, now what is this? Ball. You know, small, or if you don't have this, at least you play with this. Am I right? Okay, now see here, this ball. I want to tell you the outline of the story. Okay, first the ball poem. What is the one day when the boy will be playing a ball? What happens? Suddenly it bounces and falls into the water. Then that boy stands and goes on staring at the ball. He feels very sad. He wants that ball only. Then the poet will be observing. The poet will be standing beside and observing. He will be observing the boy. The boy feels such a sad that he'll be shaking. He will be trembling. He will be staring at that ball only. He will be staring at that ball only. He wants that ball only back. Will that ball come again? It went away into the river. It went away into the water. He's standing and staring. He can't go and bring that ball back. Can he bring? He can't bring it. It fell in such a big water stream. It's floating, going away. He's such a sad that he wants that ball only. The poet observed. The poet want to say, Arey, why are you worrying of that ball? If not this ball, you'll get another ball. But that poet does not want to intrude him. Intrude means, what the poet felt is that if I say this boy, Arey, don't worry of that ball. If not that ball, there will be another ball. There will be another ball. You can buy another ball. He thought to say, but that boy is not in such a situation that he could accept. He say he wants that ball only. He has stick on to that only. Now what happens in the last? Let us see. What does that poet want to tell about this boy, the ball? Okay, let us see. First, all of you open your textbooks, children. I want to read the first paragraph. What is in the box given there? Let us see here. First, I'll read the textbook, The Ball Poem. A boy loses a ball. He is very upset. A ball doesn't cost much, nor is it difficult to buy another ball. Why then is the boy so upset? Read the poem to see what the poet thinks has been lost and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. See here. Now the poet is saying, okay, the boy has lost the ball. The ball went and fell into the water. He can't go and bring it back. As the ball has went, the boy also lost something. Along with the ball, he also lost something. So what is that he lost? Along with the ball, what did he lose? What is he missing? That the poet wants to catch. That the poet wants to understand. What did the boy lose? See here. Read the poem and see what the poet thinks that has been lost and what the boy has to learn from the experience of losing something. What did the boy lose and what does the boy must learn from this poem? From this incident, the ball going away into the water, what did he learn? Okay, now let us see. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. What is in the water? Ball. See here, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? The boy who has lost his ball went and fell into the water. What about that boy now? What is he to do? What he will do now? The poet is asking. I saw it go merrily bouncing. I saw it. Here the poet is mentioning I. I means who here? The poet. He saw. Merrily bouncing means happily. Merrily means cheerfully. Once you throw the ball, it jumps, jumps, jumps. That jumping is called bouncing. It's like this, up and down. So it bounces and down the street. It went into the street and then it went away into the water. Until you go and catch the ball, it went away into the water. Suppose it went and fell into the drainage. Now will you be able to take out from the drainage that ball? Mommy will say, oh, let it leave that ball. We'll buy some other ball. Isn't it? Leave. Oh, very dirty drainage. You are playing. The ball went and fell. So in the same way, the ball went and fell into the water. Then what about it? Will he go and take that ball? No, he can't take. It went away. It is floating. It is going away. Then the boy is standing and staring. He is staring at the ball. He felt very sad. That is the first thing he lost in his life. Until then, he didn't lose anything. That was the first item which he lost in his life. Okay. Now see here. What is the point now? Who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street. First the ball went into the street and then over and went and fell into the water. Merrily means happily, cheerful. Bouncing means jumping up and down. You understood this stanza, children? So, what are the literary devices in this anaphora? Use of repeated words in two or more lines. What is, what? See here, in two lines, the two lines, consecutive lines. Consecutive means one by one. Next line. Two lines are starting with the same word. What? So, it is called anaphora. Again, third and fourth line, merrily. Both the lines are starting with merrily. That is also anaphora. When two consecutive lines start with the same word, they are called anaphora. Okay, children? What? Merrily bouncing. Okay. Next, assonance. Repeated use of vowel. Assonance, I told you. When a vowel sound is repeated. Boy, now. See here. First line, boy, oh. Now, oh. Who, oh. Lost, oh. O sound is repeated. That is called assonance. When a vowel sound is repeated, that is called assonance. Imagery. When poet says merrily bouncing down the street, that is called imaginary. Means he's imagining. Ball is going. Catch. You say. That is one type of imagining. Okay, that is called imagery. Repetition. What is repeated here? This is also called repetition. Repetition means what? What? See here. What is here? In the same line, if the word is repeated twice or thrice, it is called repetition. What? Here, what is repeated? So, that is called repetition. So, now where is the ball? The ball is in the water. Okay. So, that is the first stanza. Now let us go to the next part of the poem. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his end days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility. Here what he is saying is no use to say, oh, there are other balls. This boy in such a bad manner, such a depression that he is not even thinking of other thing. He is not even looking other side. He is just staring at that ball only. He wants that ball only. Now how that ball comes? It is going away. It is floating and going away. How can he can't get down and take the ball. Isn't it? Now in your house, when a ball falls in the drainage, will you put a hand and take it? Leave it that ball. Let us buy another ball, you think. Isn't it? In the same way, what he's saying is, if poet is saying no use to say, if I say that boy, arey boy, leave that ball. I'll give you another money. You can buy another ball. There are so many balls to buy. Why are you bothered of that ball? Come on, listen. If the poet wants to say also, that boy is not in a mood to listen. So he's saying no use. If we say him also, there is no use. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. Arey, there are other balls now. Why are you worried of that? If I say also, he will not listen. He will never care. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. Ultimate means finally. Finally he decided. He's standing and he's very sad. Shaking grief means he's very sad. The boy, as he stands rigid, he's standing straight there. He's standing hard without moving. Trembling means shaking. He's fearing that, staring down that boy. Okay. All his young days into the harbor where his ball went. What the boy is feeling is, that was the first item from the childhood. He's playing with that ball only. From the childhood, he's playing with the same ball. Suddenly, when the same ball goes away, disappears, then he's feeling very sad. Suppose one thing, children, you like one doll or one dress very nicely. You like from so many years you have that dress. You wear. You like that, you have kept it safe without giving to anyone also. Suddenly, the dress burns while you are doing iron. It spoils, it burns. Then how do you feel? Oh, mommy, this is my favorite dress. You have burnt it. What is this, mommy? You shout, you cry. Isn't it? Array, my nice dress, my nice dress, my nice dress. You feel like that. Isn't it? So, in the same way, this boy is also feeling like that only. Array, my nice ball. From childhood, I was playing with this ball. That ball is missing now. That ball has gone away. All my childhood memories are with that ball. If he sees the ball, if he touches the ball, if he plays with that ball, he remembers all his childhood days. For that, he is feeling very sad. Why that boy is feeling very sad? Because all his childhood memories are with that ball only. When he sees the ball, he remembers all his childhood memories. So, he's feeling very sad. As he stands rigid, trembling, staring down, all his young days means childhood days, into the harbor where all his childhood days went away into the harbor, went away into the water, where his ball went. They all went away into the water, where along with the ball. I would not intrude on him. Intrude means invader. Invader means if you are not welcomed, if you step there. Suppose here this boy will never listen the words, never respect the words of the poet. So this is waste of saying. If the poet interferes also, don't think like that also, that is of no use. He will not listen to anyone's word. When you are not welcomed, that is called intrude. Okay. So now see here, his ball went. I would not intrude on him. I will not. When he doesn't, I know that boy will not obey my words. I will leave with that ball. You can buy another ball. I'll give you money. Leave. If I say like that also, the boy will not listen. That is called, when you are not welcomed, that is called intrude. A dime means a coin. If I give another coin, another ball, that is also waste, worthless, useless. Worthless means useless, no value. He will not value. He wants that ball only. Now he senses first responsibility. Now he is realizing, oh, this is my first responsibility I have missed. The first sorrow, the first thing which he has missed is the first ball. In his childhood, all his childhood memories have gone with that ball. That was the first loss which the boy is facing. Understood, children? So, next, literary devices. See here, grief. Grief means sorrow. Rigid means fixed. Trembling means shaking. Harbor means dock or port, where ships come, boats wait there. Okay. Intrude means invader. When you are not welcomed, when your words are not respected, that is called include. Dime means 10 cents. In US, they call it as 10 cents. US dollars. Okay. Worthless means valueless or useless. Okay. I think you understood. He's staring at the ball. If we say anything also, he is not ready to listen anyone's words. Anyone means who is there? Poet's words. I means who there? Poet. Literary devices. Repetition. Use of word ball, ball. Where is ball, ball? His ball. Okay. Now see here. No use to say other, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless now. He senses first responsibility. Okay, use of the this many times, this repetition, ball, 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 talking. Next, ascendant. Here, no use of conjunction in a sentence. A dime, another ball is worthless. Here, when we don't use any conjunctions, is, am, or, so a dime, another ball is worthless. Is there any conjunction here? No conjunction. So it is called accidental. Accidental. Okay. See, accidental. Okay. This is the literary device.